Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, things are escalating again. Again. Holy crap. Let's just watch people in Venezuela celebrate while people gather, and then we'll go what Trump just said recently, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Amazing. I wish we'll talk about it when it gets there. Let's just first watch. Let me see who's in the chat. I see my favorite people are already here. Fantastic. How's my audio? Everything good? Everything working? Okay, good. Let's get started.
Fox Noticias anchor Andrea Linares is in Doral, where some are celebrating the events of last night. Andrea.
Good afternoon once again, and as you just noted, well, things are resonating loudly here in the city of Doral. Let me remind you, it is a home to the largest Venezuelan community in the United States, and celebrations are really erupting at this time. Let's take a live look at this scene right now. Dozens and dozens of cars lining.
You know, they should also show the American commies protesting in America saying, hands off Venezuela. It's amazing because somebody sent me a video. I wish I had it with me of this Venezuelan lady who was angry. She was pissed off. Like, shut the fuck up. We Venezuelans are happy. I don't care if you love Trump or hate Trump. This is good news for Venezuela.
Up waving the Venezuelan flag. You can hear music, people embracing, tears of joy as they chant.
By the way, guys, the commies online, oh my god, it's so beautiful to watch. Vosh almost cried. And then Hassanabi, I don't know, all of them, TYT, Secular Talk, all these motherfuckers, they're all like, this is not how it's supposed to be. And the fact that they're talking about Venezuela and they're standing against the wish of Venezuelan people. I mean, how dare they? The audacity. At this moment, the Venezuelans in Venezuela and in America and everywhere else are celebrating. They're coming out and speaking against this. Fuck you. Fuck you. You could always rely on these motherfucking commies to be on the wrong side of history.
Freedom, freedom for their country. I had the opportunity to speak to several of these families. There's a very interesting story. A woman who was meant to fly out of South Florida. She was supposed to head to North Carolina today. Guess what she did? She missed her flight. She said it was worth it. She had to be here in South Florida celebrating this huge moment for the Venezuelan community. I have right here with me Daniel. He's part of this community. And I want you to describe what that moment was like when you got the news overnight.
Well, it was a huge surprise for me. I woke up at 5 in the morning, and then I looked at my phone and I got like 1,000 messages for different group chats. Okay, I mean, I got no words to explain what's going on right now. I think our people, our country deserves this for a long time. I haven't lived anything but Chavez and Maduro. So I'm beyond grateful. I mean, I think I'm so happy for Venezuela. This means everything. It's time for celebrate. Better times are coming.
By the way, congratulations to Venezuelan people. I hope we, the people of Iran, get to experience what you're experiencing today one day. No, Maduro was their Khamenei, so I hope everything goes well. I hope you get Machado in charge in Venezuela, and I really hope that you get to prosper after this. I hope things continue to go well for you.
Just like you, Daniel, a lot of people feel exactly the same way. They tell me they were born when Hugo Chavez was in power, then Nicolás Maduro, and all they know is a country with basically in the middle of poverty with so much economic hardship, and they've left everything behind.
You know, guys, Venezuela and Iran have so much in common. They have Maduro, we have Khamenei. They have Machado, we have Prince Reza Pahlavi. They have their the military that is still actually in power right now in Venezuela. We have the IRGC. They have oil. We in Iran, we have a lot of oil. There used to be a prosperous, richer country that was taken down by communism. By anti-imperialism, anti-Zionism, fucking bullshit ideology. We had a country that used to be prosperous, growing, and it was taken down by a mix of communism and Islamism. So, like, it's pretty much they've been fighting for their freedom. We have been fighting for our freedom. It's very similar, Venezuela and Iran, and also Maduro and Khamenei were allies, and Machodo and Prince Reza Pahlavi are allies. So it's like a mirror image of each other. It's crazy how similar they are. Oh, we got a super chat saying, "Will you do a video response to Nicole Arbor? I don't know, exposing Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly. I don't know who that is. She absolutely destroyed him. It was brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna screenshot this. Hopefully, I don't forget. I will look into it. I don't know who that is. I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. Okay, but I will, maybe if I see their YouTube channel, I will know, because sometimes I know people's faces even though I don't remember the name. So I will look into it, and if it's good, maybe I'll do a show.
Search for a better life. I also spoke with Angelica. Her story is unique. She got to the United States.
Oh yeah, Nailbun is saying it's very similar, except their fight has only been 26 years, and now they're ahead of us. God damn! So our fight is 47 years. Their fight has been 26 years, and they get rid of their Khamenei. We need to get rid of our Maduro.
3 years ago, she left everything behind, including her mom. And I want to know how significant this moment is. You've spoken to your mom, but you were telling me what you really look forward to one day is reuniting with her.
Guys, imagine one day we have interviews like this with Iranians, asking them, how do you feel? What do you feel that Iran has been liberated? Would we see that? Do you guys think we will see that? We will see that day?
Or once again, Angelica.
No, doesn't words to explain. That is me, for me, for all people, and for my mom. Definitely, I want back to Venezuela. I have more than 5 years don't see my mom, so this is a year. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. That is the sentiment here today, a sentiment of joy. There is still some uncertainty as we continue to see and monitor the situation in the region, to see what comes next and how this whole transition will play out. I also asked them, have you spoken to your family members in Caracas? It's very interesting because within Caracas, the sentiment is very different. People are staying home. They are not heading out to the streets to celebrate. They are celebrating within their own homes because they are afraid. They are afraid of possibly seeing any acts of repression against them. So we will continue here live in the city of Doral in South Florida, speaking to the Venezuelan community as they...
See, this is what I'm afraid of. Right now, we got rid of Maduro, but the military, the framework, the infrastructure, like all the military groups, institutions, all of the everything that keeps the military body that actually keeps Venezuela the way it is still there. Like all the military commanders and everybody working underneath them, they're still in Venezuela and they're still operating. Last time I checked, Venezuelan TV was still broadcasting anti-Maduro pro-Maduro propaganda. So we could say that there has been regime change in Venezuela has happened when you see the TV is broadcasting anti-Maduro content rather than the pro-Maduro propaganda. Right now, the regime hasn't fallen. Only Maduro was removed. The military is still there, and the old system is still in place. And this, as an Iranian, that worries me, because this is exactly our nightmare for Iran. Imagine if they take out Khamenei and the entire military system that is basically that holds Islamic Republic together is still there. Like, what if Maduro goes and Venezuela is still the same system as before? And then Trump is okay with that because they just got rid of Maduro. So that's what I'm worried about. Hopefully it doesn't turn out like that. Yes, Nailbun is saying, did you see the tweet from Naftali Bennett? Yes, I showed it on my Persian channel. I don't know if I should show it here. Maybe I'll show it at the end of the show because we're talking about Venezuela, but I really do want to show that. You're right.
celebrate this moment. John, back to you.
Yeah, the joy there is absolutely palpable. Fox Noticias anchor Andrea Linares. Andrea, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Wait, hold on. Let's go actually look at this. This is the topic of, the title of this video, and it's kind of crazy. So let's actually watch and see what Trump said here. Okay, so let's listen to this. Hold on.
Now, we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor, and that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me. Yeah. You know why? Because they kill a lot of people. Yeah. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. You ever watch a fight?
I have.
They go down for the count. And Cuba looks like it's going down.
Okay, what do you guys think about that? So he did. Oh no, not that one. Hold on, let's go close this one. He did threaten action against Colombia, but he's saying Cuba is going to go down on itself. Like, guys, this is escalating fast. This is escalating real fast. Like, we went from no intervention to all the intervention. I'm not complaining. I like this. I like this side of Trump. But we went like from one extreme to another. We went from isolationism to how about we change everywhere that is not friendly with us? How about we just do regime change everywhere that is anti-American? Right? Like, let me actually see. We got a super chat. So super chat saying, I think removing Maduro was right. Obviously, I agree with that. And saying, I don't like Trump questioning Machado's legitimacy. I agree with that as well. So far, this is a really good super chat. He left the regime intact and the political prisoners are still in jail. Oh, these are the name of the... No, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to... Rodriguez. Okay. Rodriguez, I can read that one. Are evil people, the job is unfinished. Oh, yeah, okay, these are the leaders in other... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, these are evil people, the job is unfinished, and I'm afraid that they're going to become now stronger because the anti-American... If you remove the anti-American element, and then America doesn't have any problem with what remains, then the people who will remain suffering are the people living there. But I don't know if that is... If Machado gets in power in Venezuela... That is a really hopeful message for us Iranian people. That means that at the end of the day, what the people want, that's what's going to happen. So we're rooting for Machado right now, right? And then we got another super. And thank you for this generous super chat. I appreciate that. I completely agree with everything you said. Sean is saying, I just want to support what you're doing. Oh, thank you. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support, Shani. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. Let's listen to a longer version of this.
16, I remember your RNC speech, and you were saying that regime change and nation building.
Where?
When you were speaking at the RNC back in 2016, you were criticizing regime change and nation building, the U.S. being involved in that. It seems obviously that your stance has changed on that. What led to that? And is the U.S. nation building now? Is that?
This isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. This isn't a country like where you have to travel 24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area, the Don Road.
Look, oh my God, I was just going to say this is the Don Road doctrine. He said it himself. Like, Trump is announcing that everything that is close to us is up for regime change. That also means that maybe he's not going to be as involved with the Islamic Republic, which is a also, so this might be a good sign, because to me this suggests that given that he has promised to defend the Iranian people, he might get involved to some extent, which is good for us. But given that he doesn't want to be involved that much in a country so far away from the United States, that means he's not going to repeat what he did in Venezuela, meaning that in Venezuela he came out and said that they're going to run Venezuela. It's going to be United States that is going to be managing the transition period. That would be a big no-no for Iranian people. Like, that would be a huge red line for many Iranian people, because the Prince Reza Pahlavi has already a plan for the transition period. So this might be a good message. That means that he might get involved only to a limited amount to help the Iranian people. But once the regime falls, he wouldn't want to get involved in the transition period, meaning nation building in Venezuela, yes, because it's close by and it's in line with the Don Roe doctrine, but in Iran, no. So if in Iran, no, because it's too far away and it's not in their hemisphere, then in that case, it will just let Prince Reza Pahlavi just do the transition period. So that is an encouraging message to hear. I hope that is true. I hope that's accurate. Sean is saying, do you think Trump is positioning Israel and maybe Saudi to help Iran? Not Saudi. Yeah, Israel, yes, but not Saudi. Definitely. First of all, Saudi Arabia has not been good for the Iranian people, okay, at all. So and the Iranian people look at Saudi Arabia very, very, they're very suspicious with Saudi Arabia. They do not trust that country at all. So definitely not Saudi Arabia, but Israel for sure. In fact, now that you told me that, Neil Bunny mentioned Naftali Bennett's tweet. Let me actually show you. What do you guys think this means? Some people were suggesting that this might have something to do with the elections, but people are saying no, he's going to do something about Iran is happening. So he posted this, and I can't play this audio because it's like the Eye of the Tiger music, which is copyrighted. So, but watch this. Just imagine the Eye of the Tiger music in the background, okay? So then he's like, yeah. And that's it. That's all of it. Yeah, there's 12-second video. So what is this referring to, guys? Can you, Israelis in the chat, can you help me out understand what is something going to happen in Iran? Yeah, Neil Bunny is saying all the replies are about Iran. Yeah. And let me see what the caption was. The caption. Oh, we got another super chat. So if we translate the caption, it's time. Okay, the caption says it's time. It's time for what? Guys, help me out here. What is the time for? Okay. By the way, that tweet is getting a lot of views on Iranian social media. Oh, we got a super chat here saying most insiders say Maduro was a figurehead and the real power has always been in the hands of the military men. Oh, these are the names. Okay, so Cabello, Padrino Lopez, and the VP. Did he strike a deal with the people who are against democracy? Okay, that worries me because that's very similar to the situation in Iran. Khamenei has now turned into a figurehead, and the real power is the IRGC. So that scares me because what if Trump also does a deal with the IRGC and they just remove Khamenei? Because I could tell you with absolute certainty, well, almost absolute certainty, that's what the IRGC is trying to do. The IRGC is trying to sacrifice Khamenei with the help of the reformists to Trump in exchange for oil and their survival. This is the plan right now. Right now in Iran, the IRGC is trying to rebrand with the help of the reformists, trying to sacrifice Khamenei. This is what they want to give Trump, and this is what they want in return. They want to give Trump Khamenei and oil and gas and whatever else he needs. Okay. In return, they get to stay in power. That's the plan right now in Iran. And honestly, the problem is that Trump might like that plan, especially because the reason why I'm worried is because that is a safer plan, because you don't need a transition in military, and you don't have to risk removing the military structure and reframing it and restructuring it and wondering whether or not the people who are working in the military, they will transition to the new power or not. It will just it's less chaotic, right? What if, and the IRGC's first, second, and third priority is survival. So they're willing to give up everything. They're willing to give up Khamenei. They're willing to give up Islam. They're willing to give up anti-Western, propaganda. They're going to give up attacking Israel. They're going to give up. They're going to be willing to give up everything, and oil and gas, whatever Trump wants, just so that they could stay in power. So if Trump has made a deal with Venezuelan military, and he likes that deal, I hope he hasn't. But if he has, I'm worried that he might want to do a similar deal with the IRGC in Iran. But we'll see. A lot of people tell me, no, don't worry, it will never happen. The only option in Iran is Pahlavi. But yeah, I mean, the only choice in Venezuela was also Machado. She had 70% support, 70% support. And not only she had 70% support, she dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump. She was a Trump fan. She's a capitalist. She wanted to work with American oil companies. She's anti-commie. She has all the right position, and she says all the right things, and she has all the support. And Trump just threw her under the bus. She's like, oh, she has no support. So this is worrying. Like, I don't know. I'm concerned. Are you guys not concerned?
24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area. The Donroe Doctrine.
So is that what you would say, that we're in the business of nation building?
No, we're in the business of having countries around us that are viable and successful, and where the oil is allowed to freely come out because that's good. It gets the prices down. That's good for our country. Now, we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor, and that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and
it sounds good to me. Yeah.
Look, he says it sounds good to me. Oh my God. Holy hell. I didn't expect that he would say that. That is like, okay, sure, let's do it. Why not? Oh, we got another super chat saying America could sell weapons with Israeli support under the Shah. With Venezuela, I don't think we need Iran's oil. Also, I think Trump values human life. America could sell weapons with Israel's support under the Shah. With Venezuela, I don't think we need. Okay, so here's the thing, Shana. America doesn't need neither Iran's or Venezuela's oil. America has a lot of oil. This is more about China than America requiring oil. This is more about not having dominance over the energy market globally, rather than making sure America has enough access to oil, because it's about leverage. This is about the future of global dominance. This right now, what's happening, this is about the future of who gets to be the leader in the, obviously it's going to be the US, but who's going to have more dominance where in the foreseeable future. And China has leverage. China, for example, has a lot of leverage over America because of their global dominance in China and in everywhere else they control over rare earth metals, which is going to be really important in the age of AI. So United States needs to also have dominance in the energy market, which is also going to be very important in the age of AI. So making sure that Iran is on US's side and Venezuela is on US's side It's not about making sure that America have enough access to oil, because it already does. It's more about making sure that America controls who in the world has access to how much energy, and to isolate China. So if China wants to use its leverage over rare earth metals against United States could use this leverage over how much it controls global supply of oil against China. That's what the main issue is right now. And also we have another super chat saying using partnership with Israel allows for global dominance. Yeah, for sure. This is why Trump is becoming more Israel friendly compared to the first couple of weeks of his presidency. The isolationist part of MAGA is dead now, right? They could just go talk about Epstein files and shit like that, while the big boys are doing serious stuff about global dominance.
You know why? Because they kill a lot of people, yeah.
Secretary Rubio mentioned Cuba yesterday in his remarks. Does the U.S. have a plan to do something?
Well, Cuba always survived because of Venezuela. Now they won't have that money coming in. They won't have the income coming in. A lot of Cubans.
Look at wait, hold on. Let me go find
Cubans were killed yesterday. You know that. A lot of Cubans.
Guys, look how happy. Guys, this is the face of all. Look at this. Guys, this is the face of all neocons right now. Look at Lindsey Graham. Trump is speaking about going after Colombia and Cuba falling, and Lindsey Graham is just like holding, to the side of the door and looking at Trump, smiling, and like, yes, my king. Tell them, look at him. You see him? Yeah, like the age of isolationism is over. It only lasted a few months. And look at them. Look how happy the neocons are. You see his face? You see how he's holding the door? Like, yeah. Look at his smile. Oh my god, what's this? Look at him smiling. Oh my god. Like he's in love.
Well, Cuba always survived because of Venezuela.
Look at that smile. He's like, yeah, he's in love.
Now they won't have that money coming in. They won't have the income coming in. A lot of Cubans were killed yesterday. You know that. A lot of Cubans were killed.
Look, he's looking at the reporter like, do you see this? Do you see my king speaking?
Do you know how many?
The bodyguards. No, they're looking, but there was a lot of death on the other side.
By the way, speaking of Lindsey Graham, he just posted a tweet that a lot of Iranians were just like, my Iranian friends were posting me like, Armin, you have to show this on the show. So watch this. So at first I was just reading the caption and I didn't understand how big of a deal this is, right? Because I was just only reading the caption. Hold on. Why is this like that? Okay, yes, okay. So look at the caption. The caption says, this Lindsey Graham posted this. Lindsey Graham said, another great day with POTUS. So here's the picture of him with POTUS, right? Saying, who has brought America back stronger than ever, at home and abroad. God bless our commander-in-chief and all of the brave men and women who serve under him. I'm proud to be American. God bless and protect the brave people of Iran who are standing up to tyranny. Okay, so that is great. Obviously, we love that. However, look at what he's holding. This is Trump and Lindsey Graham next to each other, and they have this. They have this hat that says "Make Iran Great Again." Make Iran great again. And if you look closer, I need to actually download this image and zoom in. You can see the lion and sun logo there. You see that? The lion and sun logo. I mean, you know what? I'm just going to download this and show it to you guys. But let's put this over here. And well, you guys listen to this.
No death on our side, but there was a lot of death on the other side, unfortunately. But a lot of Cubans were killed yesterday, trying to protect him.
There's been protesters killed in Iran. You said we were locked and loaded, ready to go. What is the
oh my God, he's talking about Iran. Wait, hold it. I didn't even know it's going to talk about Iran. But let me actually show the picture first. So look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. This makes me happy. So this is what Lindsey Graham posted. And look at the hat. Make Iran great again. And look at you see this? This is the lion and sun. So this is encouraging to see. Okay, I hope Lindsey Graham, like the lion and sun, kind of suggests that hopefully, guys, we are basically just trying to take whatever we could get, because the lion and sun suggests that the old system is not going to stay in power. The lion and sun means that we're not going to be just removing Khamenei and the Islamic Republic will stay in power. The lion and sun suggests that there's going to be a complete changing of the system, and a Pahlavi Iran is coming. That's what the lion and sun suggests. That's why we're very excited about that image. Oh, okay. We got another super chat saying, I was in the army and served in Iraq. Oh, wow. Okay. Trump said that he could have done a second attack but chose not to. That worries because Maduro was a puppet. Remember, Trump let Erdogan kill the Kurds, Christians, and Yazidis in Rojava, Syria. Trump let Erdogan kill. Yeah, it seems like you don't like. You're anti-Trump. So I wish when you're saying the second attack, Trump said that he could have done a second attack. Which attack you're talking about? I don't know which one. Are you talking about when they attacked the Islamic Republic? That worries me because Maduro was a puppet. Yes. Oh, you're talking about Venezuela. You're saying that they just were after. Oh, okay, I see. You're saying that they were only after Maduro and they weren't interested in doing anything else. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I share your concern. I share your concern. This is why I'm asking many Iranians to send me videos from inside Iran thanking Trump and at the same time mentioning King Reza Pahlavi. If you go look at my Twitter, and I got already a couple of other videos. I mean, I get a lot of videos, but only some of them are good enough to post. But if you follow me on Twitter, on X, Armin Navabi, I'm going to continue posting videos that I get from Iran. You could see Iranians will, in the videos that I get, people are saying, thank you, Trump. They're saying, Amazra Khai. They're saying, and from inside Iran, from the streets inside Iran. And they're saying, I told them to also say thank you to Elon because he just recently supported the Iranian people. And then maybe he sees it and he retweets it. I don't know. But the most important part of the message is to mention King Reza Pahlavi so that we could make it completely undeniable that the Iranian people, the ones who are supporting Trump, the ones who are supporting Israel, they want Pahlavi so that we get more Israelis and more Americans demanding a Pahlavi return in Iran. So, I mean, I also saw that Iranian people are now chanting in the streets of Iran. They're saying, Pahlavi Shah mas, Trump taraftar mas. That's a new chant that Iranian people are chanting in the streets, which means that Pahlavi is our king, Trump is our supporter. So I hope Trump hears these and he doesn't do what he did to Machado to Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Protesters killed in Iran. You said we were locked and loaded, ready to go. What is the line there for when the U.S. is going to get involved in those protests?
We'll take a look. We're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past.
They have. Like, you guys, the number of dead in the streets are now, last time I checked, is 19. 19 confirmed. I'm sure there's more. So he said if they start killing people, they have already done that. So can somebody tell Trump that they have already killed people?
Loaded, ready to go. What is the line there for when the U.S. is going to get involved in those protests?
We'll take a look. We're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
They're going to get hit very hard by the United States. Guys. There's so many things, because here's the thing. I can guarantee you that more people are going to get shot by the government in the next few days by the government. So we are going to have more people killed, unfortunately. It's not as high as the numbers used to be, like in the previous protests, for example, in the Bloody Aban, or in English is the Bloody November. The protests were not as big as they are right now, and thousands of people were shot dead by the government. Thousands. And now we have had so far 19, which is good, which means that the regime, and by the way, I know why the regime is not shooting people, and I now know why they're not cutting their internet. Let me know if you want me to explain that, because we figured it out on the Persian channel. We figured it out why they're not shooting as much and why they're not cutting their internet. Okay. However, they are still shooting people. People are dying, and Trump said that they're going to respond. So where is the response? Let me see. We got a couple of super chats. Oh wow, we got a lot of super chats. Thank you guys. Shara saying Trump is a good balance between the neocons and the anti-war types. Oh, I don't know. Trump is now full on. I mean, I like neocon. Right now, and I think Trump is more neocon than neocons right now. He's going for it. So I don't know if there's a balance right now. He's just going and he's just taking action, and I like it. This is good. This is good for the world. This is good for America. This is good for Venezuela. This is good for Israel. This will be good for Iran, but this is good for the whole planet. So I appreciate it, guys. Like taking out terrorists, taking out dictators, taking out communist regimes, taking out Islamists. This is going to make the world a better place. And then we got another super chat saying only Reza Pahlavi for Iran. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm Israel Chai to my Israeli friends. And then we got Armin. I think he's protecting Machado now. I hope so. I hope like you're saying this is a 3D chess move. This is a 3D chess move. I hope this time that is right. I hope this time this is correct. And then Amir just gave us a super sticker. Thank you so much for that. Saying I can email you. Oh, that video. Okay, email it to me. Here's my email. armin.navobi@gmail.com. That's my email. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much and thank you for the super chat.
So when he first got elected in January,
somebody saying protecting her from what? From power? Well, I mean, I think what she meant was that right now, if they want to make her the leader right away, they might take her out. She might become such a threat to the military in place, in the military in Venezuela, that maybe putting her. I mean, here. Let me actually defend Trump a little bit, because I am concerned, but let me defend Trump a little bit. Their goal is to get to free elections, anyways, right? Like it seems like they're trying to, even though the transition period should have been given to Machado, even if they don't give the transition period to Machado, at the end of the day, the eventual goal is to have free and fair elections in Venezuela. And if we do get free and fair elections in Venezuela, the Venezuelan people will choose Machado if that's their choice anyways. So it's inevitable for Venezuelans to get their choice eventually. So that's an optimistic way of looking at it. We got another super chat from Shana saying neocons are more globalist, pro-UN, and less Israel friendly than Trump. That's my distinction. The neocons I know don't like the UN, are very Israel friendly. I mean, one of them, Lindsey Graham, for example, right here, or Marco Rubio. I don't know. Maybe we have different types of neocons. But thank you. Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right.
we met, biggest comeback ever. We talked about
Wait, what did he say?
So when he first got elected in January, we met, biggest comeback ever. We talked about
You think so, really? I didn't feel it was a comeback, actually.
So
Because the first one was...
the bottom line is we talked about a drug caliphate
The first one was rigged.
in our backyard. We had Venezuela, we have Cuba, we have Colombia in our backyard. And these three countries have been condemned ever since I've been in politics. Joe Biden put a $25 billion bounty on Maduro's head. Chris Smith, the day he got inaugurated, said, I hope Trump will hold Maduro's feet to the fire. You did. So what has he done? He's going to clear our backyard of a drug caliphate, countries run by narco-terrorist dictators who murder, rape, send drugs.
Somebody in the chat is saying, what happened to America first? This is America first. Taking out America's enemies is America first. How do you not see America first when you look at how is this not America first? Taking out the enemies of America is the most America first thing you could do.
Into our country to kill thousands of our citizens. To my Democratic friends, you should be celebrating this. When bin Laden went down, I was the first to applaud President Obama. This was one of the most sophisticated military operations in the history of the country. What they were able to do was amazing. They knew we were coming. We had a good part of the Navy, and they were able to capture this man alive. No military in the world could have done it. And as to this commander-in-chief, he did something people talked about doing. You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wake up one day, I hope in 26, in our backyard, we're going to have allies in these countries doing business with America, not narco-terrorist dictators killing Americans. This is a big frigging day. And everybody in the world is thinking differently than they were just a few days ago because of what you did.
Yeah, I mean, he's right about that. America's enemies are scared. I know this. Because I come from a country that their leaders are America's enemies, and they are shitting their pants. We're following everything that they're saying, and they are scared. I mean, if you're American, you should be proud right now. Okay, so I know as an Iranian, my concern is what the plan is for Iran. And maybe like Trump might do certain things that is good for Iran and certain things that is not good for Iran. And as Venezuelan, you could be concerned, like you could be happy that Maduro is gone. And then you could also be somebody, like, if you're a Machado fan, you're going to be concerned, like, oh, okay, why are we not getting Machado? But honestly, your first priority should be celebrating because Maduro is gone. But that's basically for a Venezuelan perspective or an Iranian perspective. But as an American, you should be proud. If you are an American, you get to brag about this is what happens to our enemies. Okay, this is what happened. This is what my leaders do to our enemies. You should feel safer. You should feel more proud that all your enemies, all the people who want you dead, are scared that they're going to be dead instead of you, like pretty soon. Like the main leaders of all the terrorist groups and all the countries that want you as an American dead, they woke up after Maduro was gone. They woke up and watched what was happening in fear. Like, why wouldn't you be proud of having a government that is able to do that for you as an American, right? I mean, as an Iranian, obviously my priority would be what happens to Iranian people, but how is it that you as an American don't look at it in the same way for your country, right? And again, even if like Trump does something that me as an Iranian might not like because of what happens to in Iran, I also understand that Trump's responsibility is for Americans first. And you as an American should be judging it not based on what's proper for Iran, but what's the best thing for America. And the thing is that what we're trying to do as citizens of Israel, Iran, America, and Venezuela is to see where our interests are in alignment. Where do we have mutual interest so that we could work with each other? But at the end of the day, you have to prioritize your own country. Okay, hold on. We got a couple of super chats. Oh, but other than super chat, I saw Nail Bunny has some good points. Nail Bunny said Venezuela is going to be very dangerous right now. There are Hezbollah training camps there and lots of gangs to enforce what the Maduro regime approves of. Yeah, that's actually a good point. They need free, fair, and safe elections. Exactly, and maybe America, maybe it makes sense for America to be in charge for a while, because they're the only people right now, the only that could provide the safety for fair, free, and safe elections. And then we got a super chat by Shana saying Maduro has been responsible for more American deaths than the Second World War. Is that true? This is America first. Okay, what really is that a true? Is that true stat? Is that a true stat? Are those real numbers? Are you? That is crazy. That's insane. Are you sure? Can somebody double check that? Okay, we got another super chat saying Trump said he could have done a second wave of attack on Venezuelans, but stopped. I worry as someone who was in the army, that he didn't do enough. All of the other bad actors are in power and stronger. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, let's see if this was enough. I'm sure if things don't go in the way that Trump wants, they will go back in and continue. I don't think they're just gonna let it. I'm sure. I mean, I hope they're not just gonna let it. The Maduro, the same system, just take charge, because here's the thing. Here's how I know, how I'm almost sure that they're not just going to let the military take complete control, is because they are still anti-American. I don't know if he has done a deal with them or not. I don't know how similar Venezuela's military is to the IRGC in Iran. What I know about the IRGC is that they are going to be willing to give up on all their ideology and all their principles for the sake of survival. I don't know how flexible the army in Venezuela is with their values. Like, are they going to be able to just pretend that they're still anti-imperial, both like communist, anti-imperialist, but still just work with Trump and give him whatever he wants, or they're going to stick with their principles? Shauna gave us a super chat saying the stat was, according to Victor Davis Hansen, it includes drug overdosing from imported fentanyl. Ah, okay. That would make sense. Yes, actually, drugs do kill more people than wars. So if you include that, it does make sense. Yeah, and therefore, it is America first. We got another super chat saying, can you pin your email to the top of the chat? Hey, it's easy. It's my first name dot my last name at gmail.com. armen.navabi@gmail.com. So that's my email. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Because, yeah, all right, let's continue.
Dictator Nicolás Maduro and his wife remain in New York City prison, indicted on narco-terrorism.
Wait, how did this start?
Right now, Venezuela dictator Nicolás Maduro and his wife remain in New York City prison, indicted on narco-terrorism charges.
All right, it follows a daring capture by U.S. Special Forces that was months in the making, involving CIA intel on the ground in Venezuela for months, and ultimately carried out by Delta Special Forces.
GOP Senator Rick Scott sits on the Foreign Relations and Armed Services Committee, joining us now. And Senator, it's worth.
Wait, I'm not interested in this. I want to see how the Democrats are responding to all of this. Let's check in on them. Hold on.
What the hell are we doing? I mean, we've got a lot of problems in America today, and invading, occupying, running Venezuela does not solve any of them.
I'm outraged that nobody in Congress was briefed.
This was an illegal, unconstitutional regime change effort that had no authorization from Congress.
House Democrats are holding an emergency meeting today, many of them furious over the strikes in Venezuela to capture Maduro. This is new video obtained by Fox News showing Venezuelan dictator Nicolás Maduro in U.S. custody last night. It comes as...
What the hell is that on his head? I thought it was a Mickey Mouse hat. Is that a Mickey Mouse hat?
Fox News showing Venezuelan dictator Nicolás Maduro in U.S. custody last...
What is that? What is that on his head?
Last night. It comes as President Trump plans to update the House GOP this Tuesday on Capitol Hill. So what do House members hope to hear from the president? Florida Congressman Byron Donalds joins us now. Great to see you this morning. So it is really remarkable, Congressman, to listen to all of these Democrats who are coming out of the woodwork, who are suddenly all about domestic prosperity and America first.
No, they're not. They're just about opposing Trump. That's what they're about. I really don't care what the Democrats have to say on this. If you have the socialist wing of the Democrat Party who's only interested in trying to protect a narco-socialist in Nicolás Maduro, then that demonstrates the depth of their insanity when it comes not only to America's security, but American political cohesion. Look, if you don't want to disagree with Donald Trump, that's your business on the Democratic left. But to basically back up a narco-terrorist who was either a poisoning or killing the American people with drug interdictions into the United States, somebody who clearly was using Venezuela.
I mean, that's not the, I mean, that's a big issue, but that's not the only issue. He was an enemy of America. He was he supported. Not only he was an enemy of America, he also supported other enemies of America. Like he was turning not just Venezuela, but Latin America as a whole into a training ground for IRGC and Hezbollah, and a source of revenue from drugs for Hezbollah and IRGC. Like why the fuck would America tolerate that in their own backyard? Like who would like no country should tolerate that. Like if you're a country with a big enough military to remove somebody who's supporting all your enemies so close to you, and you don't remove them, isn't that irresponsible? Like you have the biggest military on the planet. You're a superpower. Like act like it. America is a superpower, and they're gonna let this tiny little country that they could easily just smash like a bug. Like they're not their country, but their leaders. They could just like easily just remove the threat, just let them be there and continuously just bring terrorists in the region and have all of this drug cartels and allow Hezbollah and other terrorist groups to just keep making money, taking it back to wherever they're operating and just create these networks. Like, yeah, I could any moment just remove this. But nah, we should be proper. It's like we should be nice. Like we shouldn't. What the fuck are you talking about? Like this is your own backyard. Obviously, you should be removing it. And honestly, if there's any laws that doesn't allow you to do this, if you have your own enemies just growing right in your backyard, and you are not allowed to remove them because of so-called international law or your own internal laws, then change the fucking laws. Both American laws are up to America, and international laws are also up to America. So international laws, whatever, international suggestions. First of all, international laws, you could just ignore them because you're America. Two, your own laws, change them. Any law that tells you that you cannot take out your enemies is a retarded law. Change those fucking laws.
As a tipping point for his own cartel, somebody who's been in bed with China and our other adversaries around the globe. And that socialist regime that was continued by Maduro, started by Hugo Chavez, destroyed the country of Venezuela, where Venezuelan people were having to flee simply because there was no peace, there was no economic stability for them, there was no individual liberty for them. For the Democrats to be worried about this is ridiculous. Last thing people need to understand, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put a $25 million bounty on Nicolás Maduro on their way out the door. So what are they complaining about? Right. I don't understand it. I don't really care. Neither do the American people, and neither do the people of Venezuela.
Well, you know, I'm always open to arguments about Congress needing to be kept in the loop when it comes to a president, the executive branch taking action. I do understand some of those arguments, but it's also, I also.
Oh, we got a super chat saying, just email you is titled, the subject is RIP Candace Owens. Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you so much.
Understand the president's argument here, which is that, you know, he had 20,000 servicemen and women who were in on this plan. And it, of course, it got delayed for several days and none of it leaked. Had he gone to Congress and told just 535 people about, or even a smaller number of members of Congress, key members of Congress, about this plan, what do you think would have happened?
I think it would have had a leak. That's what I think would have happened. But let's be very clear. You know, a lot of these rank and file members who are saying, oh, we weren't notified. The truth is it might be the four corners. That's the leadership in both chambers. They might probably have been notified. Maybe the Intelligence Committee members would have been notified. The rank and file members of Congress would not. So you have a lot of Democrats out there who are just crying over spilled milk because they weren't brought into a major session and told. That's not how you run these operations. You simply cannot do that. It puts the lives of our men and women in uniform in harm's way. So I commend the president and his team for now. This is the second time where they've done a.
I mean, why would they even need to notify Congress? Is this like, this is not war? They just went in and took out a guy. Like, this is not war. They're not like, America is not like in war with Venezuela, sending a whole bunch of people to just take out Maduro and bring him to New York. That is not war. So why do you need to risk potentially leaking the information in a leftist Congress when you don't even need to let them know about this, given that this is not war?
Major military operation with no leaks. That is something that is not typical of Washington, D.C. I'm glad the president decided to close ranks on this thing.
Guys, I don't know if this is true or not, because somebody mentioned this in our discussion group yesterday. Isn't Ilhan Omar one of those people that you need to notify if you actually want to notify the Congress? Is she or isn't she? Because if she's one of the people that you need to tell, then I can see why they didn't tell Congress.
It was done. Congress is going to be totally briefed. The briefings are being set up as we speak. The members are going to have their opportunity to hear all the details, but you can't run specific military operations with 535 generals on Capitol Hill. Right. It just simply doesn't work. The president did the right thing.
When President Trump comes to speak to members of Congress about this, what are some of the questions that you're most concerned about this going forward?
Well, I mean, right now, the big question is going to be the transition in Venezuela. But again, the president has demonstrated now an adept ability to handle these foreign policy questions and the next domino that's going to fall. I think it's going to be a major question for a lot of people. But the primary objective has already been accomplished. Nicolás Maduro was using Venezuela for his own narco-terrorist state, while also allowing socialist policies to continue in that country, which destroyed it. This is a great thing.
I love it when people say, well, they were socialists. Okay. You know, honestly, that's reason enough to go and fuck shit up. Like, I was like, you know what? Next time, just say like, hey, was it drugs? Was it the oil? Was it because they were threatening us? Just say like, they were commies. Enough said.
For the United States. It's a great thing for the people of Venezuela, not only in Florida, but all through the United States. And it's a reassertion of the Monroe Doctrine. And for those who are not aware, they should go Google it. The Monroe Doctrine has been critical to United States foreign policy in the past. It needs to be reasserted again today. So that way we have a healthy hemisphere without the influence of China and Russia that protects the United States. It protects its people, and it allows for these countries in Central and South America to actually flourish on their own. That's a big win for us. It's a big win for our hemisphere.
The Monroe Doctrine. Yes. Byron Donalds, Congressman, thank you so much.
Guys, remember we were mentioning the Monroe Doctrine for about a year and a half now on this channel, like from a year and a half ago. Now everyone is talking about it. This is great.
Much.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane.
Wait, oh my God, stop shouting at me. What? That guy scared me. Hold on. Let's see what more Democrats are saying. Hold on. Let me see. What is this? We got another super chat saying, oh, friends, don't forget to subscribe and put likes. Yes, thank you so much. We got a super chat to advertise to people to like and subscribe. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Hold on. Let's continue. Let's go with this one.
Joining us now is California Congressman Darrell Issa, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, we saw Schumer there. He calls this a violation of the law, but he never actually explained what law he was referring to there. So what's the real complaint in your eyes?
Yeah, which law? Which law exactly? This, I mean, first, guys, if by law, if every time they say this is a violation of law, if they're talking about international law, then laugh at them. Okay, but like, you mean the laws, the so-called laws that we enforce, that it's only our military that is enforcing? Like, you understand that we could just ignore them, right? Like, you understand that nobody is going to be enforcing international law in the United fucking States of America. Like, nobody is above us. And guys, we need to talk about the concept of law, right? Law comes from a governing power that has sovereignty over an area. Law is actually the definition of a governing power. It's a natural result of a governing power having sovereignty over an area. Who has sovereignty over planet Earth? In the modern world, in the modern world that we live in, sovereignty is only defined under nation states. There is no world government. So what law are we fucking talking about? These are what they refer to as international laws, are just some agreements that, while necessary, we will abide by, but we enforce using the American taxpayer money with our giant fucking military, and no one else is doing that. And when it's not in our interest anymore, we don't have to abide by it because it's not a fucking law, and it's not serving our interests, and we're paying for the enforcement. Who else is going to enforce this if not us? So given that we are paying the cost of the enforcement, it better serve our interests. And if it's not, fuck you. I mean, let me tell you, for example, if you have the United Nations and the international community constantly condemning United States' main ally in the Middle East, which is Israel, more than any other country, then fuck the international community. I am paying for this order. None of you have the military to enforce what you refer to as international law. And this international framework that I created, you're using it to constantly condemn my main ally, Israel, in the Middle East. Fuck all of you. I mean, the audacity. Look at Canada. Canada's entire existence would not be feasible if United States was not there. Canada exists only because United States is there to defend it and also to trade with it. And it comes out and recognizes Palestine as a country. Basically rewarding the enemies of America's main ally in the Middle East. Like, fuck you. That's how America should respond. Like, what the like, you guys are using me. You guys are leeches. I gave this order so that we all could trade properly and I could bring some stability so that we could all trade with each other. But you guys thought that we're playing games here. This is how America should act. Like, if you understand, this is my game. I have the money. None of you are contributing to maintaining this order. So this is my order. So you better play by my rules in a way that benefits me, because my taxpayer is paying for all of this. So they better get something out of it. Here's a super chat. Thank you so much. Kogan, for the super chat. I appreciate that. And from Israel, and we got another super chat from Israel. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nuxanor showed a video on his TV, on his stream, on his stream on YouTube from Iran, dedicated to atheist republic, saying Javid Shai, Am Israel Chai. Oh wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. Yes, there was somebody in the middle of the protest in Iran that was saying, thanking Trump and saying Am Israel Chai right in the middle of the protest in Iran, and he dedicated that message to atheist republic, and that video is going viral. So I appreciate it. And he sent me a message. He's saying, thank you. I could show you. I could show you that video if you guys want. Let me know if. I showed it in the last stream. I could show it to you again. I posted it on my X. Here, let me actually show it one more time. So this was hold on. Where is it? I saw Emily Schrader also reposted it. I was, when Emily reposts it, when Emily approves, I feel like I did something. Hold on. My two heroes right now are Emily Schrader and Goldie. So look at this. Emily, guys, look at this. Emily Schrader quote tweeted this. Amazing. So this is the video that he's referring to. Hold on. So this was in the middle of the protests in Iran. So he's saying death to the dictator.
Exclusively for atheist republics from Mashhad.
He's saying, for my dear Armenian. Mwah.
Thank you, Armenians and Dawad Iran. Thank you, Donald Jr. Trump, for taking out the fucking Maduro. Oh shit, they're coming. What are they? I'm Israel Chai!
Yeah, the fact that he said Am Israel Chai in the middle of a protest. By the way, the reason why he says Am Israel Chai is because on our Persian channel, I always end the show with a Javid Am Israel Chai and Javid Shah. Okay, and now I made it a thing in Iran for people to say Am Israel Chai. Okay, so this is becoming a thing on our Persian channel. It's good. We have made it go viral among the Iranians to just shout Am Israel Chai. But for people who are new here, that means Israel lives. The nation of Israel lives, right? So, and because he's a fan of mine, and he said in the middle of a protest, he said Am Israel Chai. That video is now being shared a lot by Israelis, because it's kind of shocking that in the middle of the protest in Iran, somebody shouts Am Israel Chai, right? Oh, thank you. You just became a member. Thank you so much, Kogan. Right. Anyways, let's continue.
Nice.
Well, the complaint is that Trump did it. To be candid, the reality is that.
Oh yeah, sorry. We got two more super chats. Shana saying Europe wasn't even paying 2%. Yes, exactly. That's my point.
Congress wanted to make it illegal for troops to leave the barracks without a congressional vote. They could do so, but we've never done anything. As a matter of fact, the only law it guides us is an 1878 law after the Civil War that limits military use in the United States. But the reality is, when the FBI or the DEA is trying to apprehend somebody overseas, they're free to use any of the resources that we can make available. In this case, the appropriate resources included Delta Force, and they did a splendid job.
Congressman, how much of a detailed briefing do you think that members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, should get about this?
Well, to be candid, as a whole, Congress should not be briefed. Subsets, the token leadership, if you will, and perhaps a select intelligence committee, they tend to be a little better at keeping secrets. But the reality is that you don't brief Congress on something you're about to do that, if it becomes discovered, can cost many American lives. In this case, no American died because this secret was kept by those who knew about it, and they were able to get in at the right time. And I think one thing that's pretty important, and Secretary Rubio and the president, they all said it, which was day after day, they had to move it. If they had briefed Congress 5-6 days ago, that secret would have been out. And then it would have been a question of what changes they'd have to look at that Maduro would have done had he known that we were just waiting for the right weather.
Congressman, sort of on the same note as Rich was taking, what about briefings going forward on how Venezuela will be, quote unquote, run by the United States? Congress has a lot of questions about how things will go forward. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. And, Jason and I both at different times chaired the Oversight Committee. We have an obligation to ask those questions. The one thing I'm confident, though, is that President Trump has made it clear he's not going to do nation building, that this is interim, that's not the business he's in. But as somebody who did business in Venezuela years ago when the private sector was welcome and foreign companies were welcome, the reality is I see the vast majority of people fleeing back from here to Venezuela for this opportunity. I don't think we're going to need to do much more than simply.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off or not, but it's not nation building if you just create enough stability for the private sector to do its job.
Make sure that the old regime doesn't go back to their tactics of oppression.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz here. Good to see you.
It's good seeing you, Chairman.
Some Democrats are claiming our adversaries now have permission to arrest whoever they want in other countries. Have a look.
Russia and China just learned that all you need to do if you want to go into Estonia is to say that the leader of Estonia is a bad person. You don't even need to make a particularly good case. Look, there's no national security expert saying that Venezuela was a mortal threat to the United States 3 weeks ago. So what China and Russia just learned is that the beacon of liberty and rule of law in the world has now green-lighted snatch and grab operations in Estonia.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what was holding them back. I'm sure it wasn't the United States military might. I'm sure it wasn't their inability to do operations, military operations like United States. I'm sure it was not that. I'm sure it was just a whole bunch of writings and pieces of paper. It's not the United States military behind those pieces of paper enforcing them that made them not do these things. It was just some lawyers somewhere and the UN just said something, and China and Russia were like, "Oh, okay. I guess now that it has been written, we will all abide by it." It has been written. It wasn't the U.S. military that had. I mean, the same United States military that makes people respect any of these laws can decide if the laws need to change. Okay.
In Taiwan, wherever Xi and Putin decide they want to go next.
Break that down for us, that ridiculous argument there.
Well, the first thing is, of course, Russia will, pick up a basketball player or anybody they need as a hostage and call it an arrest. So
yeah, exactly.
They didn't need new permission to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dictators around the world are now going to do bad things. They were on their best behavior up until this point, apparently.
And second of all, this was not anything but a well-documented case of somebody who the world had a chance to say, "Oh no, you're wrong." When Maduro was indicted in the 2020, and the entire Biden administration, if he'd felt it was wrong, instead of increasing the bounty on President Maduro, he could have eliminated it. He certainly didn't. So it's not a partisan thought. It's not just an American thought. And the reality is, for the Venezuelans around the world, in million plus in the United States, we've done something extremely important that's even more important than just the drug trade. We've given an opportunity for this country to be prosperous again and a democracy again. And I knew it when it was, and I believe that it will be again.
Congressman, thank you so much for.
Wait, let's go see what AOC is saying. I saw AOC was butthurt over all of this, so let's enjoy that together.
Welcome back. Video obtained by Fox News of former Venezuelan dictator Nicolás Maduro in DEA custody there on your screen as he arrived in New York City yesterday evening. Time now to bring in our Sunday panel. USA Today White House correspondent Francesca Chambers, host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, Guy Benson, Fox News contributor Richard Fowler, and George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley. Thanks to all of you. We're going to dive into the politics of all of this real quick, Jonathan. I want to ask you from a legal perspective. We just heard the president yesterday, Secretary Rubio yesterday, General Keane laid out now a path looking forward for Venezuela, where if the United States is not in agreement with the interim president, the administration may very well look to remove her from power, as well as a host of other cabinet officials in that country. Can the U.S. really do that?
Yes, both practically and legally. When the president says we're going to hand this over, sort of the new Gitmo policy, give it to Marco, because there's a rumor that he's sleeping 3 hours a night. So he has a little bit of.
He needed another job.
Another job, right. But the fact is that this is squarely within the previous case of Noriega in terms of the law enforcement aspects. And they really ramped that up by having law enforcement personnel in the extraction team to put him under custody, take him to New York. That seems to be iron plated. And I don't think Maduro is going to be any more successful than Noriega was. Now, in terms of the aftermath, yeah, presidents are allowed to regime change, to engage in nation building. You can't have a judge that says, I'm not going to allow that. That's within the Article 2 powers of the president. You can object to it. You can say that that's not a policy we should pursue. But absent some countervailing act by Congress, and I'm not even sure they could go very far on that, I think that he's in a good position. It's been done before.
Guy, here's Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on X yesterday. She writes, "This is not about the drugs. If it was, Trump wouldn't have pardoned one of the largest narco traffickers in the world last month. It's about oil and regime change, and they need a..."
Yeah, it is about oil and regime change, and that's a good thing. What about it? What about it? What about go get that oil? Go get that oil. I mean, it's not like they're gonna be stealing it. They're gonna be paying for it. They're gonna be buying it from Venezuela. This is good for America. This is good for Venezuela. Venezuelans finally will be able to sell more of their oil at a better price. United States will be able to have more access to more oil of the world, isolating China's access to the energy markets. And it's a win-win.
Largest narco traffickers in the world last month. It's about oil and regime change, and they need a trial now to pretend.
So yeah, it's about making sure that America continues to dominate by controlling, by having more say on the world's energy market, given that China has more of a dominance over the rare earth minerals, which is good for the whole world. We want America to be dominating over China. We don't want China to be dominating. That's not good for anyone. We want America. And yeah, regime change in any country that is anti-American, anti-West is progress. I call that progress.
That it isn't, especially to distract from Epstein and skyrocketing healthcare.
Oh, Epstein again! Epstein, fucking conspiracy. Like I didn't know. Hey, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think you and Nick Fuentes have a lot in common. You should go on his show.
This is not about the drugs. If it was, Trump wouldn't have pardoned one of the largest narco traffickers in the world.
Oh, yeah. Also, yeah. Sean is saying, but energy and capitalism bad. I mean, are you joking? Yes, exactly. Capitalism bad. Money, wealth bad. Prosperity bad. Making sure that your country is powerful and dominating and defeating your enemies bad.
World last month. It's about oil and regime change, and they need a trial now to pretend that it isn't, especially to distract from Epstein and skyrocketing healthcare costs. That is...
You go keep talking about Epstein while the big boys are dominating the world. Epstein. Skyrocketing healthcare costs. That's on you motherfuckers. Skyrocketing healthcare costs is because of you fucking leftists constantly want to get the government involved in healthcare. That's on you.
A zinger. What do you say?
That's a pitiful response. You should talk to the people of Venezuela or the Venezuelans in New York, with the diaspora of Venezuelans celebrating all across the world. With the fall of this regime, Maduro was never the president of that country. He's an illegitimate, or was an illegitimate dictator. And I look forward to the day, hopefully soon, that the Venezuelans will have self-determination, What an achievement by our military, another flawless operation. I think politically, Jillian, the American people are willing to see the military leveraged for overwhelming uses of power, for military strikes and missions like this, so long as they are discreet, limited, and not open-ended nation building and that sort of thing. And we've seen that as a hallmark of Trump foreign policy going back to the previous Trump administration. And of course, we've seen it vis-a-vis Iran and Venezuela here. For the Democrats, it's just bizarre. The Biden-Harris administration offered a $25 million reward leading to the capture and arrest of Nicolás Maduro. And now Democrats seem to be objecting to, and the DNC is fundraising off of, being angry about the arrest of Nicolás Maduro. It is
Yeah, actually, how do they explain that hypocrisy? Like, if it's bad to get rid of Maduro, then why is it that Biden and Kamala Harris putting a reward for his capture was okay? So putting a reward for his capture is okay, but actually finishing the job is bad? Why were they not upset then?
is completely incoherent and unserious as
We
usual.
have that email from Ken Martin at the DNC. If we can put it up on our screen for our viewers. Richard, is this whole Venezuela?
Hey guys, that's actually a serious question. How the Democrats who are condemning this, then how do they justify putting the reward under their own administration? None of these people complained back then. This is just an anti-Trump position.
Operation, as AOC says, just to distract.
Yeah, it's called hypocrisy, exactly.
From the Epstein files and the healthcare cliff that Republicans face when they come back.
I wouldn't go that far, but what I will say, where I agree with Guy, is that the American people do like swift, accurate military actions. What they don't like is the ideal of nation building. And so I think the question, what Trump sort of left open yesterday in his press conference, is America will run Venezuela, right? And the last time we heard that, while we know this is not Iraq or Afghanistan, was we heard George Bush say they'll greet us as liberators and the oil will pay for it. And we now know both of those statements are not true.
I mean, they did greet you as liberators. They did. That statement was true, but then you fucked it up by the de-Baathification of Iraq. The issue was not like removing Saddam for power was a good idea. The part that you fucked up was the de-Baathification that caused the chaos after.
So the question for the Trump administration is, how do you do this in a world in which the American people were around for that and they don't want that again? On top of that,
Did you hear any answers yesterday?
No, did not hear any answers on that. And I think the other thing here too is when you think about now this enters our court. Now, I think if this is another Justice Department, I would say this is a slam dunk, and I would agree with Jonathan Turley. This Justice Department has some trouble with these blockbuster cases, whether it's Letitia James, whether it's James Comey, whether it's the turkey sandwich hoagie guy here in Washington, D.C., where they couldn't land a misdemeanor case. So now there's a lot of questions on how this administration will handle the aftermath of a perfect operation yesterday. And I think that's why Democrats are asking questions.
What do you say to that, Francesca, this idea that there is virtually zero appetite among the U.S. military, among voters, for another foreign war with no end point in sight? In this case, maybe not a war, but, you break it, you buy it.
Well, the president has been receiving some pushback from some of his MAGA supporters, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is one of his former close allies, as well as other Republicans and Democrats in Congress. But with respect to the foreign war aspect, I mean, we're already in Venezuela now. The question, as we go back to what Richard was saying, there's many open-ended questions. How do they plan to get to this judicious transition? Who is going to run the country in the interim? And going back to the question of the oil, the president says, and administration officials have said that this is, something that American blood, sweat, and tears have went into, and that America should have access to this oil. Okay, which oil companies are going to go in and rebuild the infrastructure?
I mean, you're just repeating the question. You're not answering the question.
And then who is that money going to go to? Is it going to go to the American government, those companies? How much of that is going to the Venezuelan people?
I think part of the problem with calling regime change.
I'm pretty sure. There's a way for it. There is enough oil money to make everyone happy here. So don't fuck it up.
Much of that is going to the Venezuelan people.
I think part of the problem with calling regime change and how negative that sounds is that
regime change is not negative. Regime change shouldn't be negative. Okay, regime change is fantastic if done correctly. Like, why do Americans, some Americans, just have such a short-term memory? They're like, oh, remember Iraq? Remember Afghanistan? Yeah, I remember. But do you not remember Nazi Germany? Do you not remember Panama? Do you not remember Japan? Like, why are you guys always mentioning the bad examples? You know, we have plenty of good examples as well with regime change, right?
This indictment is going to be a regime change. He was not the only people indicted. There's a slew of Maduro lieutenants still there,
including his wife.
Yes, who
apparently.
are indicted. And so just the enforcement of the law enforcement portion of this is going to end up with regime change because the regime was the criminal enterprise. So at the end of the day, there's not going to be the same people there if this case is fully prosecuted.
Panel, we got to leave it there. Thank you all.
Wait, actually, I have a very interesting video that I have not seen, and I want to watch that with you guys. But hold on, let me see.
How do you capture a high value?
Shh, 1 second. Shh, be quiet. But before we do that, let me actually respond to this super chat saying there is a precedent. There is a precedent in Venezuela. Hugo Chavez was removed from office in 2002 for being a dictator. The mistake the military and opposition was not calling elections like they promised. Trump better remember this with Maduro. Yeah, I hope we have elections soon in Venezuela, and I hope that the Venezuelan people get their choice finally. You're right. This is a concern. This is a concern. But guys, look at this. This is pretty cool.
You target when the whole.
Hold on.
How do you capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching? You create a masterclass in deception. The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces. F-35s lit up the perimeter, turning night into day. By the time the dust settled, the helicopters had already touched down and Maduro was gone. We'll also look at how the U.S. uses the F-35 jets and its Navy to launch a large-scale attack, all in the video ahead. In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. But how U.S. played a deception games. While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. This wasn't an invasion, it was a surgical extraction. We finally have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolás Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast. The pretext was clear. The U.S. designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords. But while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2, the strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies cleared, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground describe widespread explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work. But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple. The CIA had planted spy inside Nicolás Maduro close circle. While back in the US, Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until they could do it blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force reached the compound. Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within minutes, they were airborne, leaving Venezuelan airspace and heading to a secure floating staging base in the Caribbean. This Operation Southern Spear has changed the geopolitical map of South America overnight. But wait before after the extractions, there were reports of F-35 jets also leading the tip of the spear for the attack. We'll look how the United States used F-35 jets instead of F-16s for operations in Venezuela, because this is a well-organized and militarized Venezuela has positioned advanced Russian S-300 missile systems, Chinese radar networks, integrated Russian air defenses, and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates
Shahed drones, those are Russian, Chinese, and those are Iranian. I mean, Islamic Republic. Shahed drones, they came from Iran.
Russian air defenses and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s would struggle to survive. As stated, around 150 aircrafts and a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were stationed there. It also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses. Signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela's fighter jet fleet consists mainly of approximately 21 Sukhoi Su-30 multi-role fighters delivered by Russia between 2006 and 2008, which now form the backbone of their combat air power. Additionally, they maintain about 5 operational F-16 Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including 3 single-seat S-16As and 2 two-seat S-16Ds. These S-16s are aging and suffer from limited maintenance and part support due to U.S. sanctions, although they have been supplemented with Israeli upgrades. Venezuela acquired its F-16 jets from the United States through a foreign military sales agreement called Peace Delta in May 1982, during a period of good diplomatic and military relations. They were the first Latin American country to receive the S-16, with deliveries occurring between 1983 and 1985. The reason the U.S. does not use F-16s in current operations is because these jets lack the stealth capabilities necessary to evade the S-300 and other integrated defenses. The advanced S-300V or anti-2500 systems, supported by dense Chinese and Russian radar, can easily detect and target older aircraft at long ranges. Sending F-16s into such an environment would result in high attrition risks, as they are vulnerable to radar detection and missile engagement. Not to forget the Russian Buk air defense system that can take out an S-16 with ease. These are cheap R-15 or 24 Buk systems are already active and mobile all over the country. Additionally, F-16s are less effective in contested airspace saturated with drones, especially the Iranian Shahed drones used by Venezuela for reconnaissance and kamikaze strikes. The F-35, however, offers crucial advantages. Its stealth design enables it to fly undetected or with much lower risk, making it effective against advanced surface-to-air missiles and networked radar systems. Its sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and data link capabilities allow it to simultaneously suppress and target mobile and fixed air defense positions, adapting rapidly to counter Russian and Chinese radar configurations. While the aircrafts took out the anti-air defenses Venezuelan military as a whole, this allowed the CIA and special forces to advance towards its target. The overwhelming presence of advanced Russian, Chinese, Iranian, and indigenous air defense and drone systems on the Venezuelan border means that the stealth fight...
Guys, you see how all of America's enemies are present in Venezuela? It's Chinese, Russian, and the Islamic Republic's military and military assets are all here. How could you tolerate having all of this in your backyard? You shouldn't.
Fighter jets or the first wave of attack provide both the survivability and strike capability required for such operations. But how do they rotate clockwise? Well, the distance from Puerto Rico to Venezuela is about 1,300 kilometers. This is roughly 810 miles, which translates to around 1.5 hours of flight time for an F-35 flying at high subsonic speeds. These jets rotated clockwise as its combat radius is approximately 770 miles, meaning it can reach most of Venezuela from Puerto Rico with careful fuel management and limited loitering. To extend mission time and reach deeper inland, air-to-air refueling tankers deployed strategically in the Caribbean region support these operations. In situations requiring strikes within minutes, U.S. amphibious assault ships equipped with F-35Bs can launch jets rapidly. From such ships positioned in the Caribbean, F-35Bs can reach Venezuelan targets within roughly 15 to 10 minutes, depending on speed and route. Targets typically include narco-traffickers' networks, air defense installations, command centers, and drone facilities, enabling flexible sea-based strike options against both Venezuelan military and criminal infrastructure. In essence, the F-35 deployment by the U.S. near Venezuela redefines military capabilities in the region. It combines stealth, advanced sensors, electronic warfare, and networked operations to overcome sophisticated air defenses and maintain persistent air superiority and rapid strikeability against a broad spectrum of targets in Venezuela. This reflects a strategy that goes beyond counter-narcotics to deter and, if necessary, decisively counter the Venezuelan military threat. We also made a deep dive into the sea, air, and land components of the nuclear triad.
By the way, guys, this was fantastic. I fell in love with this channel. This has AI telly. Look at what their people are doing with AI. This was beautiful. This was fantastic. AI telly. Go subscribe. Guys, if you're American, don't you feel a sense of pride? Like, look at what your country can achieve. You could afford all of this shit because of capitalism, and you need all of this military superiority to be able to keep your country this powerful. A lot of you don't appreciate how powerful your country is, and a lot of you don't understand why you're spending money on all of this. When you're like, oh, but we could spend money on this and that. You wouldn't be able to keep all of the things you're having if you let U.S. dominance to be taken over by China or other countries. Like, you wouldn't be able to. Like, the whole reason why the world has been more prosperous and more stable and more peaceful, and yes, more peaceful. If you don't think the world is more peaceful right now than before, then you don't know your history. The world is more peaceful, more stable, and more prosperous than ever before, thanks to the U.S. military. And because of the values that your founding fathers stood for, right now dominates the world order. And you shouldn't want it any other way. Laws written on pieces of paper is not going to maintain the dominance of these values. The U.S. military is. And you should protect your dominance, and you should destroy your enemies, because your enemies are coming for your values, which means that they're coming for your way of life, not just Americans, but everyone else. The world is a much, much better place because of U.S. dominance, because the values that your founding fathers stood for are now backed by the U.S. military, and they're being enforced all around the world. And you shouldn't be tolerating anybody that wants to challenge that. So take pride in the superiority of your country, in the supremacy of your military, and demonstrate some patriotism and celebrate your enemies being taken out. Instead of acting like such a pussy. You're a superpower. Act like it. Anyways, we should go to our group discussion, guys. Let me actually put the link to our... Guys, we're going to have a group discussion in about 20 minutes. Wait, do you guys want to watch Rubio? Yeah, let's watch Rubio. No, let's watch something else. Let's actually look at what world leaders are saying. Rubio, we could do another day. Because I love watching Rubio destroy shit arguments. So maybe tomorrow we will look at Rubio defending all of this. Let's look at what the world leaders are saying. But guys, in 20 minutes, we'll watch this for 3 minutes and then we'll go. Okay. But in 20 minutes, we're going to be in our group discussion. There, I'm going to open my mic. Other people are going to come and talk. You don't have to, when you come into our group discussion, you don't have to open your turn on your camera. You could just come there and talk to the rest of us. Just join our group. At the link, I put the link in the group chat in the chat. It's also in the link is also in the description. So just check it out and come there. It's me. Nail Bunny is going to be there. Shauna is going to be there. Tora is going to be. A lot of the people you see in the chat are going to be there, and we have discussions there together. Okay. Yeah. All right. But let's watch this, and then after this, we're going to go there and. Yeah.
So now let's go to.
By the way, our discussion group has become like a war room. It's a place where we talk strategy, we talk politics, we predict what's happening. We have a lot of interesting discussions. It's becoming its own think tank, and it's growing really fast. So come join there. It's a really good environment for us to have these discussions. So let's go.
Reaction that's pouring in from world leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened overnight. We have our CB Cotton, who has been following reaction from all over the world. CB, there's been plenty of reaction here in the United States. Democrats, Republicans split on whether or not this was an illegal or legal move. But around the world, there's also harsh reaction as well. What can you tell us, CB?
Hey, Brian, that's right. Well, this morning, the UN Secretary General released a statement saying he is deeply concerned that international law may not have been respected. As you mentioned, global leaders are watching as all of this unfolds to see what comes next for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy. In Europe, the European Council president released a statement, Antonio Costa, and he said he was following the developments with, quote, great concern, urging de-escalation. And
what are you going to do about it? Oh, you're so concerned. Okay. What if you evaluate what happened and you have determined that this was not okay? And then what? And then what? Guys, what is a law without enforcement capability? Can anybody tell me that? Is a law really a law if you cannot enforce it? Like, let's say you guys look at it and you decided that you do not approve. What is the UN is going to send its forces to attack America? Like, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What exactly is going to happen? Given that nothing is going to happen, then what is the point? Like, just shut the fuck up. What? Oh, we're watching. Oh, wow. United States, be very afraid. The UN is going to attack you with its superior military might.
Respect of international law. Some Latin American countries are also making similar calls. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum reposted the official statement of her country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which condemned the strikes as a violation.
Oh, Mexico condemns. You have to be careful. I mean, you should be. I mean, you should be careful what you say. Maduro was also at some point in the mood of condemning Trump and telling him that he's not, like, yeah, Mexico, be careful. You saw what happened to Maduro. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, you should save your own country. I mean, are you even the leader of Mexico? I don't think you have. I think we should be talking to the drug cartels. Mexico is almost as a failed state. Do you even represent Mexico? I don't think so. I think the leaders of the drug cartels are a better representative of Mexico right now. I think they control more of Mexico than you do. So you don't even represent Mexico right now.
Official statement of her country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which condemned the strikes as a violation of the United.
I mean, you should be on your hands and knees begging Trump to come save you and say, Trump, we are incapable, we are so pathetically weak, and we are incapable of saving our country from these drug cartels. Please, please, Daddy Trump, come save us. Like, instead, you're condemning him. Like, oh, you're just saying, oh, America, we see your military might, and we also see our inability to do anything about our failed state. Can you please help us out and fix this? That's what you should be doing.
Nations and called for dialogue, not force. U.S.
I mean, this is a lady that condemned one of the only people in Mexico that was doing something about the drug cartels, and they killed him. They killed that man, and she was speaking. She was standing against that man. I forgot his name.
Adversaries are also weighing in. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Oh, Russia. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Russia. Wow. Wait, guys. Is Russia going to be lecturing us about invading other countries? Oh,
U.S. adversaries are also weighing in. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs writing in part on X, quote, the pretext used to justify these actions are untenable. Russia reaffirms its solidarity with the Venezuelan people. Iran and its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which also has a long history.
Wait. Russia is saying we are extremely concerned by reports that Venezuela's president and his spouse were forcibly taken out of the country during today's aggressive actions by the US. Are you sure this is like Russia? If confirmed, this would constitute a grave violation of sovereignty and international law. Is this a joke? Guys, is there a second country named Russia that did not attack Ukraine? This cannot be the same country that attacked Ukraine, can it? There must be another country. There must be a second country that is named Russia. There is no way that the Russia that attacked Ukraine would have the audacity to come lecture us about violation of sovereignty. Are you fucking kidding me? Go get fucked, you motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Russia is telling us about violation of sovereignty? Is this a joke? Nah, man. Nah. This is another country that is named Russia. There's no way this is the same Russia that attacked Ukraine. Okay.
Iran and its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which also has a long history of conflict with the U.S. Well, he has rattled off a series of posts this morning about the strike, including one which says in part, quote, what's important is when one realizes an enemy wants to force something on one's government or nation with false claims, they must stand firmly against the enemy. But there are all
okay. Be careful you don't shit your pants when you're standing firmly against that enemy. You fucker. Like, wow. What are you talking about? You lost all your proxies and all of the heads of your military. Standing strong?
Claims they must stand firmly.
Don't shit your pants, Grandpa.
Against the enemy. But there are also voices of support. Argentina's.
Wait, look, we didn't read the full statement. What he's saying, Khamenei is saying, what's important is when one realizes an enemy wants to force something on one's government. What? Like, hey, Khamenei, aren't you the one that were forcing your way on Lebanon and Syria, upon the Lebanese people, upon Iraqi people, upon Yemeni people, upon Lebanese people? Aren't you the same person who wants to wipe out Israel off the map? Like, are these people okay? I'm saying, or nation with false claims. What? They must stand firmly against an enemy. Okay, let's see you try. Zehi khiyal batil, according. Elon Musk responded very well. He says, Zehi khiyal batil. Say, we won't give in to them. Okay, we'll see. With reliance on God and confidence in the people's support will bring the enemy to its knees. Sure, buddy. Sure. Yes, you will bring America to its knees. Okay.
But there are also voices of support.
Who's supporting? Venezuelan people supporting? Who else is supporting?
Argentina's president, a
Oh yeah,
sharp
of course, Argentina. Yes.
ally of President Trump, wrote, quote, "Freedom advances. Long live freedom." And in the UK, reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage,
Nigel Farage? I thought it was Farage. Nigel Farage?
freedom. And in the UK, reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage,
Isn't it Nigel Farage? What's like? Have I been mispronouncing this all this time? Oh, it's Farage. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm pronouncing it correct. Okay, I'm pronouncing it right. Okay, she's pronouncing it wrong. I mean, shouldn't she know better than me? She's like working for Fox News. Okay, guys, I want to like Nigel Farage. I really do want to like him, but he's anti Tommy Robinson, so I don't like him. I don't like him because he stands against Tommy Robinson.
and in the UK, reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage, he questioned the legality of the attack, but said it may
Fuck you then. Now I like him even less.
lead to a favorable outcome.
Oh wait, the American actions in Venezuela overnight are unorthodox and contrary to international law. Fuck you. But if they make China and Russia think twice, it may be a good thing. Oh, okay. I hope the Venezuelan people can now turn a new leaf without Maduro.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer had more a reserved take, saying
By the way, fuck Keir Starmer, because apparently he had said nothing about the Islamic Republic attacking the Iranian people. Is that true? Can somebody double check that for me? Because apparently he has said zero, nothing about the Islamic Republic's attacking the Iranian people in the current protests right now. So fuck you, Starmer.
he wanted to make it clear that the UK was not involved in these strikes, and he believes
Yeah, so Neil Bunny is confirming he has said nothing. Well, fuck you.
everyone should uphold.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if there were Palestinians dying, he would be saying something right now. What is it? How is it that the Iranian people have recognized their enemies very, very well? Because all the people who were, always showing maximum amount of sympathy for the so-called Palestinian people are now completely silent about the Iranian people. Why? Why is it that exactly the same people who kept on pretending that they're lover of people and they cared about human lives and oppression, how is it that if it was about human lives and if it was because you just had a general sympathy for people being oppressed, then why is it that when it's Palestinians you show all the sympathy, and then all of a sudden when it's Iranian people you show none of that? Is it because it was never about saving lives or sympathy, or it was always about Jews? You're a fucking Jew hater. And the reason why you don't condemn the killing of the Iranian people is because the Islamic Republic is the main funder of the Axis of Resistance, which is anti-Jewish. You motherfuckers. This has never been about the so-called Palestinian people. It has always been about your agenda to fight the Jews, hasn't it been? It has always been that. We have known, like how much more evidence do you need?
That the UK was not.
Oh shit. Guys, we need to go. So let's actually
involved
finish this.
in these strikes, and he believes everyone should uphold international law. He also added that he wants to speak to President Trump and other UK allies. Brian, we're going to monitor it. Back to you.
No doubt. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz, just putting on X, this is not regime change. This is justice. Maduro was indicted illegitimate dictator that led a declared narco-terrorism organization responsible for killing American citizens.
All right, guys, we have 2 super chats, but before I read them, I'm going to put the link to our discussion group one more time. If you want to come talk to me and the rest of the people here in the chat, we go there, we talk to each other in our group chat. We're going to have a live call. And again, you don't have to open your camera. It would be nice if you do open your camera. It makes it a lot more engaging if you do, but you don't have to. You could just listen. You could talk. You could ask questions. You could give your own opinions. It's a really fun area for us to have these discussions about politics, about religion, about everything. Okay. So we have a super chat saying, if Khamenei escaped to Russia with asylum problem, yeah, of course, fucking problem. He needs to face justice in Iran by an Iranian court. We want him inside Iran. Thank you, and thank you for the super chat. We got another super chat saying, that's nuts. Colombia and Mexico are not dictatorship. Well, Mexico, I didn't say Mexico is dictatorship. Mexico, I mean, it is. Mexico is a failed state with vast areas of it being run by drug cartels. And Colombia is, I don't know if it's a dictatorship or not, but it's a major source of drugs, intentionally by the government, major source of drugs into United States and elsewhere, right? And they need to get that fixed or face the consequences, in my opinion. All right, guys, let's go to our discussion group. The link is in the chat, and the link is also in the description. So hope to see you guys there. I'm Israel Chai, Javid Shah. See you same time tomorrow. Bye.